with the love of my life, Amanda Robbins. So thrilled you're here joining me. Today, we're talking about one of the 7 key attributes of enduring relationships, both in personal and professional life. Do you want to kick this one off or should I?
One of the 7 attributes of an amazing relationship?
Yeah. So, you know this, there was 30, now 35 years of research done on over 3,000 couples. And what they found out was there's 7 things people in some type of partnership or relationship do that create trust and commitment. And trust and commitment is a mandatory quality if a relationship is going to last. And based on their research, they've been able to literally take 2 people, put them in a room, have them discuss a challenge for 5 minutes, and within 5 minutes, they have a 95% accuracy on if the relationship will last or not. And so, one of my favorite things to do is figure out how to translate this research into a business,
Mhm.
into a partnership, into a friendship, into any relationship where 2 entities, either 2 people or a business and a team member, or any 2 entities coming together to form that type of partnership or relationship.
Mhm.
I look at the same process of, wow, if 30 years of research on 3,000 couples found that these were the 7 things that produce trust and commitment,
Mhm.
are these 7 things present in the relationship you're attempting to build with this individual, this person, this team, this group, this business, or whatever it is?
Right.
And so today, we're focused on one of them. And it's actually, we're going to do a deep dive on this and help people unpack it and really design their plan to fully implement this next week in our Core 4 Challenge group. Core 4 Challenge group is part of Performance Coach University. If you don't know, we train the world's best performance coaches. My wife and I have been doing this now for 8 years, almost 9.
Almost 10 training.
8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. I've been
Almost a
actually,
decade of training the best performance coaches in the world. I'm so proud of us.
and so the thought, I've been doing this now for over 20 years, which is a lot of fun to think about. And what I've realized is you want to make sure they have a really large tool chest, meaning when they're doing the coaching framework stays the same, but those little moments where questions, uncertainties, the little things where people oftentimes will be like, well, what do you think about this? Or how would you suggest we navigate this? We want to make sure they have a abundant tool chest to reach into, not to tell people what to do, but instead to offer them a framework, a tool,
Mhm.
a something that'll help them navigate whatever it is that they're working through. And so we've worked hard to equip them with business tools, relationship tools, mindset tools, building resiliency and grit tools, all these types of tools to get the most out of human beings and make sure that you can not only cause them as individuals to absolutely flourish, but then you can cause them and their organization, their team, to absolutely flourish as well.
Mhm.
And so today, the really simple one, and it sounds simple, but you'd be surprised how many people have never even sat down to think this through. And so I'd ask you, today's topic is helping turn your partner's dreams into reality. So let's say helping make their dreams come true. And so I'd start at the highest level with a really simple question. What are your dreams? What are your life dreams? For most people, generally speaking, when I ask people that question, I hear blurriness. I hear, well, I guess it could be cool to do this, or it kind of would be fun to maybe try that. I don't hear extreme clarity. I don't hear people say, you know what, one of my life dreams is? One of my life dreams is to build a hospital in a village to be able to provide health care for that village with over 1,000 services a month and have it fully funded and operational. That's one of mine. And the reason that is because I've gotten sick with malaria in a village and it sucked. It was really rough. I was like, God, if this is the healthcare people have in a village, like, my goodness, I'd love to give them more than this. And so
Yes.
I wrote down a life dream at that moment of, you know what? I want to build and fund a clinic in a place. And then I went and did some research to figure out what that looks like. I was on the board of a nonprofit who actually funded a full-time clinic in a Ugandan village. And it was 15 at that time, it was $1,500 a month USD for the doctor's full-time month salary. And I was like, whoa, that's great. What do the rest of the numbers look like? And it wasn't too crazy. But that's a life dream where I'm like, man, I want to set that up where I can make an investment, have the cash flow from it cover the hard cost of that clinic forever. That'd
Mm,
be fun for me. Um, my wife loves animals, which is fun. And so I've made it a point every year to say, you know what? I'm going to turn one of my wife's life dreams into reality each year. And so we've done really fun stuff. For those of you watching, let me see if I can find a video, but I'd love for you to share this concept. Um, and we're talking about in a obviously a personal relationship, an intimate relationship. But if you start with what are your life dreams and have you ever expressed them to your partner? Second, have you ever asked them what their life dreams are? And third, have you ever made a plan of what you're going to do to actually help them turn their life dreams into reality? A great pace is turn one life dream into reality per year. A great pace. That way, I mean, you have a lifetime to do all of them, but could you make one happen each and every year?
mhm.
And from experience, people might be curious of like, oh, that'd be so difficult or hard or whatever. But from experience, what does it feel like when a life dream comes true?
Is that question for me?
Yes.
What is the experience? It's incredible. I'm usually completely breathtaken and, um, gosh, it's the most magical thing in the world, isn't it? When you've imagined something or visualized something for so long, and then all of a sudden it becomes your reality and you're walking in it, you're experiencing it, you're feeling it, you're smelling it, you're touching it, like you're experiencing it on all levels. It's absolutely incredible.
Well, I have this young lady right here who could tell us what it feels like.
Okay, we have a serious problem. I am still so happy from yesterday hugging that sweet little panda. I can't believe that really happened. It was amazing that I almost start crying over anything right now. I'm so happy.
You
That's
love
what
that
she sounds
video.
like. That's what she
I
sounds
couldn't
like.
stop crying happy tears. Yeah.
My favorite is I don't know if you're watching, but this is what she looked like when it happened. One of Amanda's life dreams was she always wanted to go to the panda sanctuary in Chengdu, China, and snuggle a panda bear. So I had a speech in Thailand that I had to go do. And I said, hey, let's take a detour on our way there and let's swing through China and go to Chengdu and see if we can arrange to go meet the pandas in person. And we did. And there was a very special moment. And I remember her and her bestie right here. They were just having a gal's chat about what was going on. And you could hear it in her voice that next day. She titled the video Happiness Hangover.
Mm.
She said, everything I do for some reason is bringing happy tears to my eyes right now. I'll never forget the squeal she made when she saw the blue suit and she was like, what? These are the blue suits. She knew every step of the journey. She knew all the things that were about to happen. She was so over the moon excited. And it was, in my experience, it was one of the greatest feelings in my life getting to help turn one of her dreams into reality. And so it's a natural high both for the person helping assist make it happen and the person making it happen. I cut you off. I'm sorry, love. You were saying?
I don't even remember what I was saying. Um, I don't remember what I was saying. So I think one question that comes up, it's funny because I'm thinking like, oh, what are people thinking as you're sharing these things? And my expression, like when you bring this topic up, I find it amazing and inspiring and a little bit challenging. And maybe others can relate to someone. Maybe you're in a relationship with someone that's like, they kind of, maybe they buy their own Christmas gifts and birthday gifts. Maybe they plan their own things. And so, where's the room for someone to do that? So, like, I'm thinking, so if someone's watching this and they're looking and they're like my expression while you're sharing that, I'm like a little bit not embarrassed, but like it was such a like moment, right? It's hard to express like on video of how amazing it was and everything. And also that you get all the bragging rights for making that happen, but I don't know that I have those because you're really great at buying your own gifts and experiences and making them happen. And so I find that a little bit challenging. So to bring this full circle is how, if someone is watching and they're like, I would love to make that happen. And I know all the things that I'd love to happen, but like my partner or significant other, husband, whatever it is, wife, um, they won't tell me, or they don't know, or they won't share, or they're like, what thing that you do so beautiful is like, you make all my dreams come happen, which is sweet, but like, I don't have any proof points. I don't have a video or a picture to be like, look at me making my husband's dreams come true. And I think
I
that,
do.
okay. All right, cool. So
I
I
do.
think that that could be like somewhat of a stuck point for some people, which are, like how, if in a partnership, someone doesn't necessarily seem to provide the space to make that happen is incredible. Like, that's a very unique experience. Me just booking a flight for you to go to the Bahamas to see the pigs and that, like, those island pigs, pretty epic, right? Or going to China. But there is no way you would let me like book a ticket, surprise, we're in China to do that thing that you wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, so what do you do in that case if someone has a partner that's like you and makes all the magic happen?
So there's two sides to this. You're dancing around something that's incredibly important, which is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And a partner of ours, a friend of ours, sent an article this morning over that said more or less financial bonuses for new employee financial bonuses don't work. All it does is cause them to stay long enough to receive the money, and then they leave for a variety of reasons as soon as they can. And I have experience with that on both sides of it. Counting the days until the money arrives, and I'm like, okay, there, we made it. And or paying them out and watching people leave and being like, what the hell? So I have both sides experience with that. And what it's highlighting is extrinsic motivation. And extrinsic motivation, external things and stuff motivate people so far. All the research shows, though, for maintaining consistent long term motivation, for containing a consistent lasting relationship, it requires intrinsic motivation, things that are internally most important, if that makes sense. And so life dreams can both be sometimes external, things someone wants to do or be a part of or create or experience or have or buy, or life dreams can be internal, how they want to feel each day, what they want to experience, what they want to become as a human being, how they want to develop. And so someone might say it's a life dream to learn how to free dive. It's a life dream to learn how to surf. It's a life dream where it's intrinsic, it's who they're becoming. And it's not so much standing up on the surfboard, but it's overcoming the fear of being in the open ocean. Or like you can see how there's an intrinsic aspect that comes to life inside of these. And if you want something to last long term, it's going to be built more on intrinsic of who we become instead of extrinsic, what we get. And so when you take that concept and you overlay it onto making life dreams come true, then we have to look a little deeper and say, okay, there's external things. You call them bragging rights because these are some external things that, teenager Amanda looked in life and went, man, that would be the coolest thing in the world. And I said, okay, cool. Those are easy to make happen. Those are external things. But if you look really closely, there's intrinsic things, there's internal dreams that you've had or have, and same as me, internal dreams I have or had of wanting to make my ideal day come true. And us looking at that and saying, wow, this is my partner's ideal day. This is how they dream of living their day-to-day life. Can I help them make that come true? One of the dreams I expressed was having our home feel like a sanctuary, calm, rejuvenating. And Amanda, whether she knows it or not, has done an incredible job. We've bought a cold plunge, a sauna. We have family yoga in the evening. She's decorated and organized everything in a way that's calming and rejuvenating here. We live on a tropical island on the beach with an endless ocean view. There's all these elements that are part of my life dream of how I want to feel every day. And she's helped create space that helps me feel that way every day. That doesn't look the same as shabam, that's my wife with a panda bear. It looks very different. It looks like, wow, I have this tranquil living environment that my wife helps curate and create and nurture each and every day. And that makes my soul feel alive and incredibly grateful every day. Cool. Translating this over, one of my favorite things I've ever done in organizations is the concept of, I know we got to wrap up in just a moment. If you want to come and join us as a guest for our Core 4 training, where we do a deep dive on this next Tuesday, it's at 12 p.m. EST, just send Amanda a direct message that says Core 4 guest, and we'll get you the details of how you can join us as a guest next Tuesday on us, just to come hear more about this. But there's a way to translate this into a business or organization where you can gather everyone's life dreams, put them into a hat or jar, whatever you put them in, mix them all up. And anytime you make a major milestone, like you accomplish something that's extremely hard. Think if you were in sports, it'd be the NBA championship, or the NFL Super Bowl. Like you win it. You do the best you could ever possibly do. You go beyond what you've ever thought you could do. At that moment, one of the ways you celebrate is you reach into the jar, or someone reaches in and pulls out someone on the team's life dream randomly. You don't know whose it is. But then as a team or organization, we either, if it's feasible, we make their life dream come true. And what's cool is at that moment, the team looks back and says, wow, we just worked our faces off and we made this major milestone happen. We feel so proud of each other, so honored to be on the team. Like we really pulled it together. And and then all of a sudden someone on the team gets their life dream to come true. And who knows, maybe it was seeing the panda bears in China, and you send them on their way. They take their 5 days, they go see the pandas, they come home, they have videos and pictures, and you frame one of them and put it up in the office or digitally showcase it if you're a remote team. And it becomes part of the ethos of, at this organization, if you show up and you work your face off, over time, we'll make everyone's life dreams come true. And if you look at the 3,000 couples for over 35 years of research, they found that this is one of the 7 things, when done consistently, that causes trust and commitment, which makes a relationship last. Because now you're building a relationship with your team. You're not hiring someone to do a job and when they're done, you kick them out. You've built a relationship, trust and commitment over a long extended period of time. And it's like, wow, that becomes life-changing on both ends. So again, if If you're interested in learning stuff like this, you want to come and practice, send us a direct message that says Core 4 Guest. We'll invite you next Tuesday to come and check it out. And or go to performancecoachuniversity.com/apply and come and join us.